Alright, before I get too far ahead in the story behind me, let me take you on the trip to go pick it up and tell you a little story about what happened on the way. I found this Chevy Cobalt. It was on Facebook Marketplace for like 720, 750 bucks. It was running, driving, not naturally aspirated. It's not an SS car, 5-speed. And I offered him 400 bucks. And he was like, yeah, just come get it. I don't want it anymore. Now, the reason why it's so cheap, the first question people would ask is, you know, why would it be so cheap? You know, it's a running, driving car. You know, you might be able to get 1,500, 2,000 bucks for it. The reason being is that it's still titled in another state, and it was some sort of salvage title, needed to be rebuilt. I told him that was fine and that I had some other plans for it and that I would be on the way in like a day or so. That day comes, I tell him I'm on the way. He says, A-okay. We head out, me and my dad, truck and trailer, to go pick it up, worried that even though it was running, driving, it's probably not the best car to try to travel. It was about a 2-hour plus drive there one way. So we get about 30 minutes away and I get a text and he says, you need to call me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we just got an hour and a half plus into this drive, 30 minutes to go, and you're just telling me something bad's happened. And so I call him and he's like, look, the car rolled down a hill and hit a tree and the driver door is damaged. He said the driver door would not shut and it was stuck open and he was trying everything but it wouldn't shut. And I was like, okay, I sensed some dishonesty in what he was telling me or how it happened. I believe that that's what happened to the car. I just didn't believe that it happened just then or that he didn't know about it prior to. I think he was worried about not being able to sell the car. And I said, does it start up? Does it go into gear? He said, yes, the battery was dead. I jumped it off. It runs and drives still. It's just the body damage at this point. I said, I'll continue on my way, but only for $300 now. And he said, yes, please come get it out of my garage. So the footage you're seeing now is me arriving and seeing the car after I just put it on the trailer. The driver door truly did not shut and I had to secure it with seat belts. I paid him $300 and we got on our way. All right, now let's get to the good part. Why would I buy a Chevy Cobalt piece of crap for $300? Now, this is not normally a car that somebody would be looking for, something they want to go after and get, but I came to the realization that there's a company called DF Goblin. They make a kit car. It's actually not a road less traveled per se. There's actually a lot of people have done it and a lot of content on YouTube about it, including from the company itself. DF Goblin is a kit car that looks similar to an Ariel Atom but is smaller and more affordable. It's not quite an Ariel Atom. Ariel Atom, if you don't know, is a kit car that's a full tube frame. They use a Honda power plant, turbo and non-turbo, and they're kind of like a track toy, open cockpit, open wheel setup, if you will. Now the DF Goblin, instead of using like a Honda power plant, uses the Chevy Cobalt power plant. You can use the SS motor, supercharged turbo, or the naturally aspirated motor. Now, for it being so cheap, I went ahead and did the naturally aspirated because I don't think there's any way that I could ever find a running, driving vehicle for that cheap ever again. And the motor and transmission are about the only good thing about this car, because the motor actually sounds pretty good. The car has about 156,000 miles and the transmission is not bad. The clutch, not barely there for sure, but regardless, it is a running, driving vehicle for $300. You hardly can beat it. All right, so you saw some of the clips of it on the trailer. I actually still have the door secure. I want to go and make this video even though it's getting dark. I secured the door by tying this seatbelt right here and so that I could shut the door for the ride home, but the door legitimately, under its own free will, barely comes to this point right here. But it is a 5-speed manual transmission. It does run and drive. I'm not going to start it now, but I did get a little clip of it starting. And I would consider that running driving, right? Earlier. It's not super clean. There's pretty much faded paint and damage. I mean, like sun faded paint everywhere. Like this wouldn't be, it actually never could be a daily drivable car. Let me show you what's underneath the hood. All right, so look right here. Along this is actually, it's really bad. This car was wrecked really good on this side. There's a reason that it has a salvage title. This side, pretty straight. I would say that's probably relatively factory right there. But as soon as you reach the center point of the front frame area, man, it just crinkles and wrinkles all right there. I mean, the fact that they even got this fender to look relatively factory right there is like even using spacers or whatever they had to do in here is kind of impressive for being what it is. It's not impressive, but it is. The tape there, haven't really fully diagnosed what's going on there. There's a the valve cover leaks a little bit. I mean, there's a number of problems, but I mean, the motor, it has coolant in there, and it didn't knock, it didn't tick. So tentatively, my goal is to begin the DF Goblin kit, and the first step out of all of that is to completely gut out the Cobalt and take every part needed to make a DF Goblin kit car. So that's what I'm gonna do. The build process throughout YouTube is very well documented, so I think I'm just gonna highlight a few points. Next video will basically be a montage of me tearing down the Cobalt all together into one video. I don't really want to split it up. Like, there's plenty of people that have tore down a Cobalt, so we're just gonna get to kind of like the meat and potatoes of the videos and make sure that you get the best content possible for a DS Goblin. It might take a while, as like, it's a budget build. You're supposed to be able to do it for like $12,000, pretty much at minimum. I'm not made of money by any means, so it might just take a little bit longer for me to be able to do this. So first step, we're gonna tear this piece of crap down, and I actually really looking forward to scrapping this entire shell, because I don't want a Cobalt to be in my garage any longer than I have to. You're gonna wanna follow along for this process, because it's actually gonna be super fun. I love tearing down cars and just kind of like creating carnage as I go, saving the good parts and trashing the old ones. So follow along, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, and leave a comment what you think about the DF Goblin kit car down below. See y'all in the next video.